And I just wonder, first of all, we're told that President Putin is preparing, or asked his generals to prepare the next stage of this offensive. What do you think it will involve?
Thank you for having me. And I have first to confess that I saw the previous portion about the parliament with envy. You have debates, real debates in the parliament, long forgotten in Russia. And that is one of the reasons why Putin regime is doomed in long run. But in short run, they feel pain from the Western supplies, including from the Great Britain, but especially the new supplies of the long-range weapons from America. And that should be continued, because if he says it publicly that it hurts, that should be continued, and that is probably the shortest way to end the war.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that he will continue to weaponize energy supplies and food supplies, also with grain in Ukraine? Do you think that he will continue to do that?
He will do everything, including weaponizing the foods, and if he could, in medicine, in Russia, inside, he is now weaponizing the education process, which is probably, which means harm for future generations, probably, of Russians. He will go as far as the West allows him to do, and the best answer to all of that are those weapons of the long range. It's a little bit depressing that while he is weaponizing everything, including food and gas, that means probably, quote, I know that today it probably sounds ironic for you, that quote is bad, but yes, it would be bad in the winter time. That the West is under-weaponizing, still under-weaponizing Ukraine. Ukraine should be weaponized to an extent to stop and repel the invasion.
Do you think that NATO will eventually have to use its military power in a bigger way to turn the tide in this war?
I think no need for that. It was kind of debatable decision from the very beginning, especially telling all the time, we will not do that, we will not do that. I mean, that, to my mind, was absolutely wrong strategy and tactic. And under-weaponizing Ukraine, when he weaponizes everything possible, is also debatable, or rather a mistake to my mind. But there is no need for such measures like direct NATO military engagement. Enough is, I mean, the defense minister said yesterday clearly and loudly that its long-range artillery and missile systems that changes the situation on the front. Do it. I mean, as far as I know, as far as I understand, America supplied only 4 of those systems, but supply 40 of those systems, and no need for NATO engagement. He is not as a scary, in real terms, as he is painted. I mean, there is a lot of misconception in the West. And of course, he will not be suicidal if he is defeated in Ukraine. He lived with that. He was ruling Russia for 14 years, 15 years actually, before even 2014, when he took the Crimea. in its regional borders, Russia in its regional borders, and Ukraine in its regional borders. And it was okay. So it's nothing new for him. And he will not be cornered if the Ukrainians, with the NATO help, but not necessarily direct engagement, would just return to the situation. Everyone will be in its borders. What's wrong with this?
Yeah, okay. Well, listen, we've run out of time, but Mr. Kozyrev, we appreciate your time on the program, and it's important we give this time to the story in Ukraine. Thank you very much indeed for being with us. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.